Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys. It sound right, boys.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Welcome into Teagues Tech, everybody. It's a great Tuesday night. Man, there's so much going on with our football world and life in general. Happy Thanksgiving. I didn't get a chance to say happy Thanksgiving to you guys this past week, but we appreciate you listening to our podcast, subscribing, finding us here on YouTube, and tuning in tonight as well. JT and I, man, we got a lot of things to cover tonight. So I want to kind of dive into what we're saying. But I got a little bit of a rant that I need to go into first that I want to get JT's input on after I finish this rant. So y'all bear with me a little bit because I'm kind of in my feelings right now. You know what I'm saying? That's what we do on Teagues Take. We try to keep it real and talk about it. And so I've kind of been disturbed a little bit. I think with all the coaches changes, right? Now, I'm a coach, so you guys remember that. I've coached for a long time. I've changed jobs. I've moved to 4 different schools, right? But the way these college coaches have been moving here recently make me question if we're doing the right things or if we're doing it the right way. So let me tell you what I'm talking about. In the National Football League, there are certain rules and regulations that go with how you approach a coach, when you get to talk to them, do you have to have permission, so it doesn't really disrupt the team too much, even though, a coach may be looking. So the NFL put some safeguards in there to maybe protect their team, but also still allow coaches to move, right? So as a coach, I like the freedom to be able to move and do different things, right? But I think when you get in these larger schools, you can create issues or problems by the way this has happened. So I was really disturbed when we were looking at the way things went down with SMU. Sonny Dykes kind of, the rumors are kind of out there. The teams are kind of disturbed. And you look what really happened. He said, I'm here, or maybe he didn't tell the truth about whatever. But, there was some sidebar talks going on with him and TCU. The team goes on a 4-game losing streak. They lose recruits. Coaches don't know what they're doing. It's all kind of stuff like that. You look at Lincoln Riley dipping basically in the middle of the night, seems like. And then, Brian Kelly moving. And so what I'm saying is I think we need to have some safeguards and things because coaches need to be able to communicate to these players in a good way into these programs so that they just don't really tear their programs down too quickly. You lose recruits, those that are committed. You lose the people that are there. I actually had a coach in my office today, a college recruiter, talking, and we were talking about this, and he said, man, we're probably going to lose like 20 guys, or something of that nature, easily just because our head coach left. That's alarming to me. That's not good for programs. I don't know if that's good for football. We all got choices, and we can be able to do different things. But I'd be really curious to hear what you guys have to say about that. Should it just be free for all? Hey, coach, you can leave when you want to. It's your job. Yes, you can leave when you want to. I'll answer that. But how do you leave? How do we leave? How do we make sure that teams just aren't affected, the way they have been? So JT, if you could pop back in with us, man, that'd be great. Come on in and join this conversation before we get into this other stuff. I know we got a lot of other stuff to talk about, right? The rankings that just came out, the Dallas Cowboys, the SEC championship. There's a lot of things that happen, but I've really been in my feels about this, man, this week. So, am I? Is that what I'm just being? I'm just being butthurt because coaches that make a lot of money and moving, or can we really find a better way to make this happen where it just doesn't disrupt the whole program?
Well, I don't. I'm not entirely sure, like how do you put things in place that restrict the movement of somebody taking a job, and
But they do it in the
also
NFL. They do it in the NFL though.
they do it in the
"Hey,
NFL because they're all under the same umbrella, right? You know, I think you could get away with it if you did it at the conference level, but you can't do it at the NCAA level because the whole like antitrust things, you know, they can't mandate what schools are supposed to be doing.
I think it's the time frames on how you talk to people, and maybe I'm just wrong. Think about this. You got schools that might be up for a national championship. Coaches dipped already. I know it's his right, and I probably would be the same way, right? You're trying to do what's right. I get it. I'm making sure I say that, but it just seems odd and weird, that you got a coach from Notre Dame that.
Yeah, now I will agree with that one. That one is that one's tough because it's like one. I'm even shocked that he left. I mean, I guess if somebody, I mean, I'm assuming that LSU threw all kinds of money at him.
9
But
million.
for him to leave when he did, like now, and they're like number 6. Like they might actually go to a playoff game in
Yes.
2 weeks. So I wonder if it was him that like I wonder if he's the one that was like, yeah, I'm leaving Monday. Like y'all on your own. Sorry, peace out. Or if him like taking the job and LSU was like, look, if you're gonna take the job, you got to be down here next Monday. That's just I don't know, but that timing to me is the strangest of all of them.
Yes, and shout out to Craig too. I saw him pop in and give the words. We do appreciate that. So, um, when I know it's not apples to apples, okay, because we're talking about bowl games and time of the year and all that kind of stuff. But I've had to leave in a hurry. When I left Shelton to come to JP2, it was kind of in a hurry. I would say in a hurry, because JP2 wanted me there January 1. I'm thinking, I was trying to say, man, I want to come in March. I need to get through this. I need to help find a coach, blah, 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 all this kind of stuff. J2 was pretty much not, or JP2 was kind of like, no, we want you to start right at the beginning of the year. So you need to close out. But here's what they gave me: you need to close out what you need to do with your other school because we want to announce it. We're itching. They got all the same stuff, so it's very similar. But they say, hey, we need to give you time. You need to talk to your administration. You need to go talk to your football team. You need to let them know what the decision is. And so even though it was fast and there was still emotions and it was heated, I had an opportunity to really have some good conversation with my team. So I'm worried about the players a little bit, because what they're saying, I guess, I don't know if it was Notre Dame or if it was Oklahoma, but I think it said it was Notre Dame. That he had like a 10-minute meeting, and then he basically dipped. Hey guys, I'm out. I know you guys heard about it. I'm sorry I didn't get to tell you first, but I'm headed south.
Yeah.
And
My
that,
guess is that I think that it might have been Oklahoma because I know like Lincoln Riley Yes, Craig. I'm working on it. Let me try to finish this thought. I know that Lincoln Riley had actually like took the job, I think, right after they lost to Oklahoma State. Like they were still like in Stillwater or something. And he was leaving then. I know Brian Kelly, it leaked and he sent a message through their version of Huddle, team whatever, and was like, sorry you had to find out this way. Remember, we still have a meeting at 7 a.m. I'll give you all the details tomorrow morning when we have our team meeting. And I don't know how long that meeting was, but I do know that Oklahoma's was more of, it broke, it's after the game. Oh, by the way, we just lost and we're not going to the championship. I'm out. Sorry, guys. And
Yeah, and see, I just have that just hits me the wrong way, man. I don't. I get it. I'm for coaches having opportunities, and we should. We're not. We don't need to hamstring them and say you can't go. We're thinking. Someone tell me if I'm losing sight of what I think we're losing what's happening with the game and the players. We're always talking about it's about the guys. Yeah, we want to win. We want to win national championships, but you're still dealing with 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds, guys that just got there, and your coach has to come in. He's looking for a better opportunity. I got it. You do the same thing, looking for a job, right? I do the same thing. Well, I got it. I just think there should be, maybe it's a better way to say, we need to have some kind of standard. Maybe it would make me feel better as a coach if he just said, listen, USC, you got to give me 2 days, 3 days, something. It don't even have to be long, but we can't put this out tomorrow. You got to give me some time to get to the meeting so I can have a private meeting with my guys, with the athletic director, whatever, and say goodbye, and not just this, like you said, man, I'm packing, I'm on the phone over in the corner and they're sending me another plane,
right.
to fly me out there. That's crazy, man. I don't like that. I don't like it.
Okay. Well, while we have a quick little break here, your microphone is coming a little soft on the stream.
All right.
And if you can either move closer, dial it up. Yes, Craig says he wants a kind of like a 2-week notice. I agree, I don't know how you enforce it. Like I agree with you that there probably should be something. I just don't really know what you could put in place across all NCAA institutions to where that this happens in the right way. I think you kind of just have to hope that your coach doesn't leave you in shambles.
So let me ask you this then. Do you think that I'm talking about the players and all that, but do you think that the athletic directors had any idea, that their coach was leaving? Or do you think it was all just kind of backhanded? We're having sidebar conversations, agents reach out. Do you think they actually had any idea? Were they blindsided like the kids, or do you think they knew?
In the case of Notre Dame, I mean, Notre Dame's athletic director says that he wasn't surprised. Part of me finds that hard to believe.
Well, I think you told me that he was recruited by his old AD.
No.
Right?
No, I wasn't saying that he was his old AD. What I was saying was the AD that was recruiting him now at LSU is the AD that got Jimbo to leave to go to Texas A&M. So I was saying I knew, like, as soon as the sources and the leaks were coming out that Brian Kelly was leaving to go to LSU, and I was like, yeah, they just gave him a 10-year, $110, $115, $120 million deal, and he could like, it was one of those things where Scott Woodward was like, hey, you're going to have to tell me no. I'm not just going to like, you're not going to not answer the phone and pretend like you didn't get my call and not answer my emails and whatnot. Like, I'm just going to throw this big check on your table and tell you, you need to be down here by Monday or the offer's gone.
Mm-hmm.
And that one, that's when I was like, oh yeah, I just know this is a big contract. And I don't know if you saw the video, his press conference when somebody was asking him like, hey, do you ever think you would leave Notre Dame on your own volition, short of retirement? And he was like, no, I don't. And this was like a week ago, 2 weeks ago, maybe. And he was like, no, I don't see myself leaving. And then he kind of paused for a second. And then he was like, well, unless like some fairy godmother comes with like a $250 million check, he was like, my wife would probably want me to at least look at it.
Precursor.
And then, yeah. And then, you know, a week later, he's going to LSU and you're just like, yeah, they probably ponied up and he couldn't say no.
So do you think, so let's talk about a few of these hires here. Well, first of all, which one do you think is more shocking to you between, you know, Lincoln Riley going to USC and Brian Kelly coming to LSU? I know there's some others. I know Billy Napier went to Florida. I don't know. And Sonny Dykes going to TCU. But out of those other two, do one of those hit you harder than the other?
I don't know. I almost had a tweet about who was the winners and losers. The Brian Kelly one, I think, shocked me the most.
Yeah.
Because he's been at Notre Dame for something like 12 years. Mm-hmm. It seems like he's got the program exactly where he wants it. And you just trying to ask yourself, like, other than the giant paycheck,
what was he making though? I don't even know what he was making. It can't. I mean, was he making?
Let me see. Let's
$2
see
million jump. It's Notre Dame. He had to be up there pretty good. You know, it's not. There's one difference to me going from, I don't know, 4 million to 9 million. You know, 5 million to 9 million. But surely he had to be closer to 7 or 8, I would think.
Well, it's hard to tell because Notre Dame is a private school, so they don't actually have to report anything.
You can't tell me what. Okay, well, we can go into that, but I'm saying, well, you can't tell me that they wouldn't at least try to match it. If he came and he knew and he went in and said, "Look, man, you know, we're getting ready to, you know, I got a good offer on the deal here." You know, it's just, I feel like he didn't even give him a chance. It was just, I want to leave, and I don't know why. Is that job that much better? You know, we were kidding and talking about Lincoln Riley didn't want that smoke to be able to come into the SEC, and then you got another coach who's jumping in full speed ahead, coming out of two very prominent programs. You know, and so what could, other than money, you know, what, leaving Notre Dame to go to LSU, is LSU that much better of a job than?
Yeah, so I mean that's kind of where I was looking at. So I'm looking at this article that was written October this year on like the top 10 coaches on payment wise. Nick Saban's at the top. And then it was Ed Orgeron, Dabo, David Shaw, Lincoln Riley, Dan Mullen, Jimbo Fisher, Kirby Smart, James Franklin, Ryan Day.
So he ain't even in it.
So, yeah, so he's not in the top 10. And if he goes somewhere north of $9 million, he's in the top 3.
Which he is.
Right. So if he's at $9.5 million, if he gets $9.5 million a year, he would be
9.5.
Tied for second.
Yeah, I think I said he was at 9.5 or 10 years, $95 million. Something like that. 9 point, whatever it is. 1, 2, 9. I don't know.
Yeah.
Can't do math
So
that
we
fast.
got a couple questions from Craig. He says that Brian Kelly will be fired in 2 years, so why would they offer him so much for so long? He's not going to be gone in 2 years because I'm pretty sure this is going to be a 10-year deal, and the buyout is going to be absolutely ridiculous.
Yep.
Jimbo's buyout is $95.5 million.
Yeah, right.
Then he goes on to say that he did nothing for Notre Dame. What makes them believe he'll be able to do anything at LSU? I would say that he's done everything for Notre Dame, considering he's the third winningest coach at Notre Dame. I think he might be the third winningest active coach behind Nick Saban and is it Dabo? I don't know. I can't remember, but I know he's in the top 3 most wins active, and he's been taking them to the playoffs. I mean, they've been good football teams in the middle of Indiana. So I mean, if he can just kind of take whatever recruiting prowess that he had to get guys to go to Indiana under their stricter academic protocols, I think that I think LSU has the best hire out of the I don't know, because USC's in the garbage. So the Pac-12 and USC have immediately gotten better.
Yeah, he should be able to recruit well and get them back on the map pretty fast, I would think. I think, he's going to be able to recruit out west, and just with his ties down this way a little bit, he's still will be able to sneak into Texas and Oklahoma, maybe snatch a kid or two.
Well, he's kind of been doing what Saban's been able to do, and Dabo. He's been actually getting kids from California to go to Oklahoma. So, for somebody, so I think about it this way, where Bryce Young is from California, right up the street from USC. So is Clemson's quarterback. You had Tua, who was from Hawaii, wanted to go to USC. And the whole reason that these guys aren't going to USC is because Clay Hinton was there. So now you got a guy who's like just known for recruiting Heisman candidate quarterbacks. And most of these Heisman candidate quarterbacks are coming from California anyway. So, how do you... Yeah. USC should now be able to hold on to some of those quarterbacks.
That's right. I think that's a win for them. I think that they win out of this deal, out of all the schools that we're talking about. The team that gets hurt the most, maybe
Oklahoma is easily the team that gets hurt the most,
even over SMU.
Yeah, because here is the bottom of the cliff is so low for Oklahoma, because let's say Oklahoma does end up leaving like at the end of this year, and it comes out that they're joining the SEC right now, starting next year. That class has just been decimated.
Mm-hmm.
Your head coach is gone. You're moving conferences. The class you thought you were bringing in, they're basically all going to USC. You got Caleb Williams, who no longer has the coach that he came to play for. Spencer Rattler's transferring. Oklahoma at least thought that they were going to come in and at least be competitive. Like, I know there's some fans that thought they were going to be like going to SEC championships right off the bat. And there's others that just thought like, hey, at least we're not going to be Mizzou. We can get 8 wins, we can get 9 wins. And like the wheels might just fall off, and they could be a 4-8 ball club just for the fact that everybody left and they don't have a head coach.
Yeah, that's true. is Bob Stoops going to stick that out? They just got him as an interim, or
Yeah, they got him as an interim.
You know, is he really the answer? Or I don't even know who's out there with just coaching carousel. But I don't know. It's getting kind of slim pickings. Or you're trying to steal somebody else from somewhere. I don't know. Maybe you get someone from the pros. Yeah, I don't know. Timing, man, is crazy because, this is the problem that started. Man, I know I keep talking about problems, right? But the problems of this early signing date, guys are signing in December, or maybe even signing a little bit earlier in November, sending in their letter of intent. So these it's crazy, man. We don't need the two signing dates. We need to just have the one in February and be done with it because this wouldn't happen, right? Because they're asking for coaches to come now because people are signing. But you got the bad negatives of, hey, these people are just committed, putting their name on a piece of paper, and then coaches dipping. Oh man, it's bad. I don't know. I don't know what we do, JT. I don't know how we fix it. If there's anything that you can do legally or whatnot. I just don't like the principle. Not the principle of taking another job, of just not giving a coach an opportunity to call a team meeting and say, all right, guys,
Yeah, I mean the Lincoln Riley one, I think just off of reading, that was the one that rubbed me the wrong way the most because from what I saw, they were still at the hotel and like he was getting on a plane and they had some dude like hiding out at the airport and saw Lincoln Riley, Alex Grinch, and some other dude that was going to go with him show up in California, and they're just decked out in Oklahoma gear. And you're like, really?
Yeah, come on, man.
Like, that's what you got on a private plane to go to USC and all your Oklahoma swag? Like, okay, for that's messed up. But then you got other coaches on the staff that I think with Brian Kelly, I guess they didn't know either. So when it got leaked, because I think I'm going to give Brian Kelly the benefit of the doubt because it sounded like he really wasn't trying to tell anybody until they got to the team meeting. And then on Twitter, some reporter had gotten the screenshot from one of the players' phones of Coach Kelly's message saying, we got to talk on tomorrow morning. We're going to have a team meeting, all this kind of stuff. And then that's when it kind of blew up. And everybody's like, oh, he's going to LSU. Look at that. And then some one of his staffs were like, oh, now I look like an asshole because I just left a kid's house trying to recruit him, and Brian Kelly's not going to be here.
Yeah, there's just ways to do it, man. And I don't know. It's what Craig was talking about. I just think there's character pieces because, like I said, I've left a couple of jobs. One thing I always knew is I did talk to my staff, at least let them know I was thinking about something or whatnot. Because, hell, most of them wanted to try to come with me or something anyway, And they know how to keep secrets. And, man, just let me know what's going on. But I'm telling them the same thing. Hey, man, if you're looking to leave, man, just holler at your boy. Let me know. Give me a heads up, So,
well, it's
I
funny
don't know.
Because, we had just talked about this with what I was doing on listening to phone calls of other job offers and me calling my manager and being like, hey, this is what's happening. I'm not actually trying to get out, but
yeah, it's just a certain level of responsibility is not the word, but just I don't know, man. I think that's just not character because it doesn't mean that you're a bad person. I just think there's better ways to do it, especially when you're dealing with institutions like that, money that's in it, and the people that you're affecting. So, so let's talk about how this really affects this playoff look now. Because this may affect Notre Dame in a big way, right? Depending on what I guess that's the only one that's really impacted that much. But with the rankings coming out, I was surprised that Alabama was number 3 ahead of Cincinnati. That kind of shocked me for the committee vote. I know it wasn't that way in the AP poll, but the committee still had Alabama at 3. So that was kind of shocking to me. I really thought we were going to be sitting at 4 just because of the way the AP poll went. So huge game for Bama, right? Coming up. Michigan, I guess that should be okay. I don't really know what that game is going to be like. Cincinnati, do they lose to Houston?
Doubt it. But
You know,
I don't know. Stranger things have happened.
but it goes back into okay, if well, maybe I should say not even do they lose. What kind of game do they have to stay in there?
A win.
A
win. That's it.
That's it. You don't think it has to be some kind of convincing kind of something. And now I'm getting into the because I'm saying that because of Oklahoma State, their conference championship. If they win convincingly, and you talked about it before, are they going to jump Cincinnati?
So I think the only way that Cincinnati doesn't get in with a win is if Alabama wins and Oklahoma State wins. If both of those teams win, then Cincinnati might and Michigan has to win. Like if all of the Power 5 champions that are in that top 5 win, Cincinnati might get bumped out.
I mean, I can see that because as long as Bama wins, Georgia and Bama are going, right? Regardless of what that is. As long as Michigan
Wins,
Iowa,
they're in. Yeah.
they're in. Can they fall out with a loss being at number 2?
I think they can.
Because I'm assuming, and that's the other side. How far do you have to go down? This is where we get into, if Bama loses,
They're out.
yeah, and but we're saying pretty much if anybody loses other than Georgia, all 3 of those teams could be out, right? If Michigan lost, Bama lost, Cincy lost, so now you're going to move up Oklahoma State, Notre Dame, and I don't know who else is.
Well, see, I don't. Oh, okay, that's true. I think Notre Dame's a long shot.
They're number 6.
They are number 6, but they got to have like everything go wrong because like 2, 3, and 5 has to lose, and then they would get in sure because there's nobody left. But if like Michigan loses and it's close, and Alabama loses and it's like it could have gone either way, and Oklahoma State wins, Notre Dame is still sitting at home, not playing.
Yeah, that's true. They got to change that. This whole independent thing, I don't like it. They need to jump in the conference.
And I've heard some rumors that that is another reason that Brian Kelly might have left is because he didn't agree with Notre Dame staying independent. I think he was, once they had gotten to the ACC last year and they played the ACC schedule, he was more like, my job becomes a whole lot easier if we just get in a conference so we don't have to sit out the last week talking about, we hope somebody loses.
Right. He got a little taste of it. He got a little taste. Yeah, I guess that's you're probably right. I don't know, man. It's going to be, this is a huge weekend for a lot of teams, including Alabama. Alabama had the big scare with Auburn, which probably would have ended it right now. So we still got a lot of naysayers out there. Spent the last hour on the Bama Standard talking about what Alabama has to do to be successful in this game. So first, I want to say I think Alabama played differently defense-wise. We kind of talked about it. Well, what did they do different? How did they slow it down? Was it just because Bo Nix wasn't there? No, I don't think so. I think they simplified some things and they let these guys play. You could tell there wasn't a whole lot of checking, a whole lot of looking around. It's too loud in that stadium. They couldn't be trying to make a whole lot of adjustments. I think they just let them play football on defense. Offense, we still didn't look that good. I know we had some guys hurt. They probably could have been a little bit better. Hurt meaning losing Jay Williams. That showed me something about. We probably can talk about him a little bit more in depth, but I think he's a true dog, a true leader, someone that we need to have on the field, and I think he's going to come back with a vengeance this week. Say, throw me the damn ball, because he's going to want to take over after getting kicked out. So I think he's going to be a spark for the team. Offensive line, though, JT, can we stand up to the test? Can they pull out the dogs and say we're going to make this slugfest? As big as we are, we just got to do the mentality. Has Nick Saban laid the groundwork with his little rant, talking about the stuff to say we're ready to play some doggone football now? Has he done that?
I sure hope so. This game scares me the most. Like I've said, I've been kind of raving about Georgia's defense all year. They can get to the quarterback, and Alabama's offensive line lets almost everybody get to the quarterback. I mean, we had, 7 sacks?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
way too many.
6 in the first half or something like that. Like, it's ridiculous. And Georgia's front is probably the best in the country. And Georgia's secondary is better than Auburn's secondary. So, our O-line has to protect. We've got to allow, I don't know, I'm going to say 4 or fewer sacks. And Bryce Young is going to have to show why he's the Heisman favorite, like for real.
Well, and I was wondering which way you're going to go with that, because I'm saying that his legs are going to be part of the keys to victory for this. We know he's going to be able to throw the ball. He'll make some plays passing that, but with that rush, he's going to have to be able to dip, do those quarterback things, spin, and try to use his legs to buy some time or get some yardage, some hidden yardage, because they're going to have to – I don't know how they're going to try to attack us if they're going to play man or zone. I don't think they can zone up with our guys. I think Bryce will truly get after him.
I think there's going to be a lot of man. I mean, especially after what Bryce said after the game against Auburn. Like, if I'm Kirby Smart, I'm just like, yeah, we're just going to play man the whole time. We're not even going to consider zone. Like, as soon as Bryce opened his mouth and said, we didn't think they were going to play as much man as they did, then I'm like, oh, yeah, well, that's it. We're going to send 6 or 7 because we know y'all can't block anyway, and we're just going to play man, and you're going to have to not throw interceptions.
Well, hopefully it works on the screen package and the RPOs, and you got to slow that down. You got to get them big linemen running sideways up front. Now, they're fast, they're big, and I know they can, but you may break a crease. Those guys we have, they know how to run the ball. On the outside I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I think because he didn't have to – Williams doesn't have to miss any more time, right?
No, he was ejected in the first half, so he can start.
Good to go. So he can play. You think they're still going to have him on punt team?
Yes.
Or they just tell them what? Don't go spear nobody anymore?
Yeah, just don't launch no more. Like, just hit him low. What are you doing?
Because I like, man, that's a horrible way to lose your top offensive guy.
Yeah.
On some punt. Yeah, I mean, what is
Well,
that?
I mean,
How
I
often
still
does that
feel
happen?
like they shouldn't be ejecting people for those kind of targetings anyway.
Yeah, you're right. Oh, so squirrel here, right? So we're talking about ejections. I know I'm getting off topic, but I need to make sure I say it right. So the Cowboys D lineman gets ejected for punching the guy after the game. Remember, I forget what his name is.
Yeah, Tristan Hill.
Tristan Hill. Suspended 2 games. The
After.
Giants wide receiver. You remember when he hit Kazi in the face? Exact same type of thing. He only gets fined. He doesn't get suspended. Why? No consistency. What would be the
Was this the one during the game and they like blocked him all the way out to the? Or am I thinking of something else?
No, it's something else. It was after a play or whatever, but you know how they're always throwing these punches to the face. Now I did read the NFL statement.
Well, you have to enlighten me
Right.
because I hadn't seen it. I didn't know either anybody had gotten suspended.
Yeah, so because I remember when we asked, okay, is he going to get suspended? Is he going to get fined? And I think you said that he was going to get. I can't remember what you said. If
You
said
asked
he was
me,
gonna
should he be suspended? And I said, yeah, he probably should be.
Yeah, so he did get suspended 2 games, right? And part of the explanation was that it was that they got cameras everywhere, so I don't know. They're basically saying that he went out of his way, he found the guy, and almost saying it was premeditated kind of thing that he was going to start this fight regardless. So they felt like he kind of hunted him down, and not necessarily emotions just took over, and you're telling someone, "Get off me," kind of thing, where guys swing at people's helmets for dumb reasons. Anyway, so they felt like that he hunted him down and was gonna fight him regardless. I don't know how that all went down, but everybody's just making the talk that, hey, you got a very similar deal. So now what happens anytime a player punches, snatches a helmet off someone? Is it a suspension or is it just a fine? And I don't really know. Really makes me question that. So that was my squirrel moment. Because I don't really got anything to do with what we're talking about. It just talk about unfairness. Officials, good Lord, we don't have this on our sheet either.
Well,
Right.
did you happen to watch the Michigan Ohio State game?
Yeah, I think I watched some of it. I don't know if I watched.
What did
Yeah, I
you
was watching it because I was getting sick because Haskins scored 5 touchdowns.
Did you see? Clara. Sorry, Clara. Our bot. We have a bot in chat for anybody that doesn't know.
Kicked her out. She talking too much shit, and they kicked her out.
No, she was typing in all caps, and the bot thought it was spam, so they removed her messages and told her she couldn't chat for 5 seconds.
That's funny. Now you need a sound effect for that one. Boom, boom.
We got that one, and
Yeah, that's a good one. Both of them together was great. That's good.
so.
Oh, that's funny.
But she was saying that the difference in suspension is because John Runyon is the NFL's VP of policy, and he is a former Eagle. That's why Tristan Hill got the 2-game suspension.
And that's why we like Clara, because she just be saying stuff. She be coming up with some good stuff. But you might
And
be
his
right.
son plays for the Packers, so she says that could be a possible reason.
Okay. Well, I heard that. I don't know any truth to it. Because people always come up with all kind of stuff. Someone actually texted me during the game and said, these calls are going against the Cowboys because something that official has some beef with Jerry Jones, and the kid is on that staff. You know, it's just something kind of crazy. It doesn't matter, right? There's been a lot of talk about and JT, I don't know if you've been hearing about officiating, and is it taking over our game way too much? Are they really becoming a distraction? You know, because they are starting to affect the outcome of the game. So the Cowboys lose to the Raiders on the, you know. All right, so let me ask you a direct question. Pass interference. All the underthrown balls, do we really have to look at that? Because that is the easiest way for them. They intentionally underthrow it. The DB has his back turned to the ball, so any kind of forward motion by the wide receiver, flag. Even though he probably can't catch the ball, he ain't even going to get to it. So do we really have to look at that and try to judge, was it a good pass, was it a bad pass?
I'm on the fence because my first reaction was like, yeah, we should look at that because it's like it's hard to do. You can't just like turn around and stop and whatever because you don't even know the ball's coming. But at the same time, that means you have to have somebody subjectively judge whether it was catchable, uncatchable, a good pass, a bad pass, whatever.
But think about what they're doing, JT, how slick these offensive people are. Aaron Rodgers is one of the best of them. He throws the ball at the defensive back head, just to the side of it. So you have to reach through the guy. You got to slow, so you're creating body contact. Now, how are you going to defend that? How are you not going to run into the guy? How are you're already beat. Like you just said, you don't have time to turn around.
You've. This is what I would say. You're already beat. That's your first mistake. If you're on top of a receiver, that can't happen.
Well, hold on. What about if it's two man? Yeah, we want to get really logical about it. You're supposed to be in a trail technique. You're chasing the guy. You're underneath. The quarterback throws the ball at you. You're playing his hands. Everything coach told you to do. Look at his eyes. Look at his hands. When his eyes get big, the ball's about. But he kind of slows down a little bit and you run into him. I don't know, man.
I mean,
now, I don't know if there's an answer. I'm just saying.
Yeah, the problem is the rules are supposed to be cut and dry, right? If you impede the progress of a receiver, however that happens, that's what pass interference is. And the only way that you can kind of legislate that out is to give the ref more leeway and more subjectivity, which seems to be exactly the opposite of what you actually want.
That's right.
So I don't know what you do. And to wrap it all back up on like, do the refs, you know, are they becoming too much of a spectacle or whatnot? I mean, you can say yes in the Cowboys game, but then I would say you go back and you look at that Alabama game, and although Alabama did have a ton of penalties, as far as like pass interference, they was just letting whatever go with pass interference.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's a double-edged sword. It's like, well, which do you prefer? I mean, I guess most people probably prefer the way that the Alabama game went as far as pass interference. But
Jerry Jones said it best. We need to let guys play football. Well, hell, Michael Parsons said that too. We need to be able to play football. When we get into all this other stuff, then we touch on. Yes, there has to be rules. You have to play within the rules. But I think we're just going so far the other way. You barely touch the guy. You look at him wrong. Man, come on. Especially, I don't know, man. You know, I don't know. So what about these Cowboys, bro? What's going on over there, dude? McCarthy's out. Steele is out.
Joe
Both
Philbin's
offensive line coaches gone. I don't know if I'm supposed to be scared. Now you got some other players coming back. I heard Tank is supposed to be back.
That's good.
You should have Amari back.
From what I've seen, he's more likely than not coming back.
So what? And you're saying because he has symptoms?
Yes, which I'm already like baffled on how he's even allowed in the
How
building.
can he be? And that's what I was gonna say. How can he have symptoms and be in the building? Because that means you're still contagious.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. And it wasn't like a reporter just was like, oh, he still has symptoms. He's in the building. Like one of the coaches, I think it was McCarthy. He was like, yeah, he's still got a pretty bad cough. He's not feeling great. He hadn't practiced, but he's been here. And if he doesn't practice tomorrow, then he's probably not going to play. And then like all kinds of alarm bells went off for me because I'm like, wait a minute. I just read a report that you're supposed to be in COVID protocol. So how the hell do you even know what he's doing at practice? Why do you know this? Aren't you supposed to be at home? If he has symptoms, why has he been here for the last 2 days? The whole team's going to be in COVID protocol.
Well, okay. So we worried about the offensive line more than anything. Which one are we more worried about? 2 offensive line coaches out, or the head coach?
2 offensive line coaches, I think, because is Tyron Smith coming back? Like the offensive line for the Cowboys hasn't been to the depths of terrible that Alabama has been recently, but I think the Cowboys should be able to manage one game without Mike McCarthy. But if you have your swing tackle, like if Tyron Smith gets hurt and Terrence Steele's supposed to be the one that comes in and he's out, and then both of the coaches who's supposed to be making the adjustments on who's going to replace and shuffling up the line, and they're not there. And Cam Jordan might just end up having a field day.
Have they actually said who's going to be their on-field coaches? Because, I mean, Kellen Moore really can't. I mean, he can call the play, but he ain't down in there talking about footwork and hand placement and all that kind of stuff, I don't think. Maybe Dan Quinn is doing double duty, triple duty, trying to be the head coach, the defensive coordinator. They said Dan Quinn is still going to be calling the defense from the sideline and still managing the game. I'm sure he'll be leaning on Joe Witt to help him. You know, I imagine Joe Witt will be upstairs, kind of be in his eyes. And you still have George Edwards, who, you know, has had coordinator stuff. So I think we're going to be okay from the defensive side of the ball, obviously. But you know what? That O-line stuff is different, man. Can't anybody just go up there and be an offensive line coach.
Yeah, I agree. And kind of tangentially on subject, what Justin's saying is it's amazing how Doug Marrone continues to be paid while his offensive line continues to regress. Yeah, I fully agree with this. I had sent you a text message. It might have been during the Auburn game when I was talking about we've been spending so much time talking to all these people about Fire Pete and this, that, and the other thing. And the problem has been the offensive line like all year. And they haven't actually gotten better. They've continued to get worse. You know, Marvin and I were talking about how many sacks we generate. We really should have been talking about how many sacks we give up.
Well, yeah, so I think from an Alabama standpoint, I think we can pull it out. I just hope that I was very disappointed with the offensive line for the Crimson Tide last week. I was frustrated to no end just watching that. They brought in the big tight end / offensive tackle, whatever. He wasn't blocking a soul. I'm like, why is he even in the game? You know, it's a waste of time. I mean, he didn't even touch some people. Them 74 wasn't playing well either, in my opinion. You know, and I know we're mixing 2 topics, 2 teams here, but it just brings me up with, you know, what potentially could happen for the Dallas Cowboys as well. You know, you get into a game like this. It's not a must-win deal for the Cowboys, but it sure does feel like it, right? You're having a 3-game skid. It feels like it to me. just because of the skid, you got Washington, who's now closing the gap. Redskins is almost there, closing the gap. You know, we still got some pretty good teams to play later on. Speaking, I'm talking about the Cowboys, and I don't know, man. It's just if you lose, you got so much to overcome, and that's why these are the similarities between seem like Alabama. It's just seem like we're always having to overcome something, and it seems like this needs to be the game. New Orleans, at New Orleans, you're down all your coaches, you're down some players. Maybe they come back, maybe they don't. Hadn't been playing well. If you lose in New Orleans on Thursday, whoo-wee.
Yeah, I mean, you get a lot of people talking about you and whatnot, but I feel like at the end of the day, like you know what you have to do to make the playoffs, and that's win your division. And if you
Washington will be one game back. Aren't they 5-6? Washington now. If you lose, it'll be 7-5. We were up 3 games at one point, maybe 4.
Let me see. I'm trying to pull it up just so I can
make sure we're giving the accurate information.
Yes. So the Cowboys are 7-4, and the football team is 5-6.
Yeah.
Fine.
So you lose your one game out of first. Man, that's.
I mean,
from where we were 4 weeks ago, JT, like hands down, we're supposed to be the division champs.
There's a lot of football left. You know,
we still got to play the Redskins twice, don't we?
Yeah. So I mean, you have an opportunity to beat them twice. You already beat the Eagles. You already beat the Giants. So, you know, there's still a handful of games you just have to win. I don't know. I just don't know that this one rises to the level of if you don't win this one, like the season's over.
No, but you got them 2 Redskins who gonna come play for you anyway. You got the Cardinals that you got to play.
And then there's like 3 wild card spots. Like I feel like now it's, at least in the NFC East, it's difficult to not make the playoffs.
You talking about anybody, or you talking about the Cowboys?
I'm talking about if you are in the NFC East in general, like it's a hard time if you're not making the playoffs. It might be time to start looking around at different directions.
There's going to be some people, you know. We're already talking about what the quarterback situation is going to look like for the Eagles and the Redskins next year. You know, yeah, he's right. New Orleans doesn't know who their quarterback is. They're gonna. I'm gonna tell you what they're gonna do. They're gonna play Taysom Hill, just to create some issues. That's what I think. The problem's gonna be if Alvin Kamara is back. If he's healthy and he's playing Thursday, man.
Wow, I don't know. I still feel like there's not too many problems, because then you know what you need to do. Like, you need to stop the option and stop Kamara.
Dude, like we said that against doggone the Broncos. We said that against the Falcons. They ain't got no running back. They had no wide receivers.
Well, the Falcons didn't score.
Oh, no, sorry. Who else? The Raiders. It wasn't supposed to be that kind of game with the Raiders.
It's true. That's true.
Renfro, whatever, goes off for Josh Jacobs. Man, all these people hadn't been doing anything. You know, I don't know. I'm just ready for our boys to get back right. I think there's going to be a spark if we do get some of these guys back. Even if you don't have Amari back, that's kind of alarming to me on what you were saying. I didn't hear that report about his symptoms. That seems kind of fishy to me, but I don't know. There's always smoke and mirrors in the NFL. Is he hurt? Is he not really hurt? Is he sick? Is he not? Because you don't want to tell who's going to be back. If they get CeeDee Lamb back, that's going to be a big difference. Hide your crab legs when you play. Good one. But he ain't playing no more anyway. So, what's that quarterback name? Winston.
James Winston.
Yeah.
I mean, the Saints did lose the Falcons, though, didn't they? So,
Did they?
I think
I
so.
don't remember.
Let me see. I can pull it up right here. Yes, the Saints lost to the Falcons.
What week was that? That when Kamara went out too?
That was
most
3
recent.
weeks ago. Right, the Saints lost to the Falcons right after the Cowboys, or right before the Cowboys smacked the Falcons.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I don't know. Football's just different this time, So, what do you think about these games? So let's talk about our picks. The Bama game. What do you think the score is going to be for the Bama game?
Well, I told you before that I was taking Georgia minus the points, whatever
6.5.
whatever the points were. I really hope they prove me wrong. I would be welcome. I would welcome being wrong.
Okay.
I think it's. I don't know.
What's the keys? What's the keys for Bama to win? What's the keys for Bama to win?
The keys for Bama to win are, they've got to win the turnover battle. Like, I know that is something that we say all the time, but like this one for real, like -1 is not going to cut it. It's got to be even, or we got to be ahead. We have to protect the quarterback. We have to find something of a running game. We have to be able to run for at least 100 yards. It don't have to be all one guy. It can be Bryce Young on some scrambles, but
we have 100 yards rushing all year.
No. But, and we haven't. Have you seen our rushing stats?
Terrible.
They're going this way.
Yes.
And we have to make Stetson Bennett beat us. We cannot let Zamir White and James Cook get loose, because if they start getting loose, they can. I think Georgia's game plan should be run the ball, just eat up as much clock as possible, and just play good defense. The reason that they were able to come back against Auburn is because they had chance after chance after chance after chance to score. And if they can just limit the amount of times that Alabama gets the ball, they're not going to be able to come back.
Okay. I think our keys, a little bit of games, are no unforced penalties. Those are the pre-snap penalties, getting yourself behind, bad yardage, getting behind the sticks, those type of things. We can't have those type of things. You can't be holding that type of stuff. We can't. Too many times we've had big plays, and then we have to bring it back. I think Bryce Young's legs are going to be critical in this, as I mentioned. He's got to be able to scramble and get out of there a little bit, move around. I think he's going to have to be able to do that. And defensively, we, like you said, the old cliche, we got to stop the run. I think we got to be deliberate with that. Even though our secondary might not be our strength, and we got some, they got a good tight end there that we're going to have to worry about. I'd rather them, let's try to make it that type of game with them to see if they really can. They're going to be opposite of what you said. Stop them from being able to just control the ball, because I do think we're better to move the ball on them. I do. I don't know if we're going to be able to run the ball on them, but I think we'll be able to move.
Well, I hope so, because Georgia's only their highest point total they've given up this year is 17 points.
And I went with 26. I said we're going to score 26. So they're 23.
I hope so. I'll be right.
But, yeah, like you said, I don't know. I don't know. We have to play. I just think having Williams back, he's our secret weapon. They're going to have to figure out how to double him. They're going to have to cover him. That's going to open up lanes for Mechie and Billingsley or whoever else. All kind of people. I think we should be able to dink and dunk them a little bit. We don't have to take big shots. We need to dink and dunk and get first downs. And we should be able to get the ball out. As long as we don't have any penalties, we can get that. All right. Cowboys at New Orleans. I also want to talk to your father-in-law or your wife about this afterwards, because you know he's already going to be talking about it. We can't lose to them, man. I think we can beat them just because we're getting some of these other guys back, defensive guys back. I think our defense takes over. I think nothing against McCarthy or any of that kind of stuff, but I think that Dan Quinn's going to have a spark to them. He's a different dude. He's a different energy. His sideline presence is going to be different. He's been a head coach, before. I think these guys are going to play for him, offensively and defensively. And so I think they're going to go above. It's going to be a bigger game for him, actually. Meaning they're going to play for him more. That's what I think. And so if we can start a little bit faster, not go 3 and out on the first drive. I hate when we do that. If we can do that, we've got the same issues. We have to be able to run the ball against New Orleans. I don't know if Zeke healthy or not, what that's going to look like. They say he's going to play. He's supposed to get the same workload, but give me a little bit more Terrence Steele. Tony Pollard in this as well, and let's try to balance this thing out a little bit. Let our dogs eat. If you got Gregory back, and if you got Tank back, you got Micah in there, bro, we can be dangerous. So
yeah, they've got. Let's see, Kamara was still limited today. Ryan Ramczyk, their offensive tackle, still out. Marcus Davenport, is still questionable, and Marcus Davenport is still questionable, and their best safety is still in injured reserve. So,
they're limping.
Yeah, and they don't have a real starting quarterback. So, we should
or a real starting receiver.
Also true. So defensively, we should ball out. We should.
Yep. Okay. Well, maybe we blow them out. I didn't check the line on that one at all.
4.5.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a lot for an NFL game, ain't it? Especially being a
Being
road favorite,
away.
4.5.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm good on that. Well, we'll see. We'll be tuning in. So I need to give a shout out to Walter Moss as well. He's normally in here quite a bunch, but I am actually going to be visiting him and seeing him tomorrow, as a matter of fact. I'm headed to Panama City. For any of you guys listen down there in Florida, I will be in Panama City. I will be speaking to the Alabama Red Elephant Club down there. So we're going to spend a little bit of time down by the beach, baby, for the next few days. JT, while you working on a few things and you sit behind your computer screen, we're going to go catch some of the sunny 70. I know we have it here in Dallas, but we're going to hear the whoosh. It's going to sound like Tinsley's little sleep monitor. We're going to be listening to those waves roll down there, and I get the opportunity to go talk some Alabama football once again over the course of the weekend. So I'll be down there for a few days, and we will be back in time to watch the championship game here at home. So I just want to give them a shout out. I appreciate them inviting us down and supporting us. We've been getting a lot of love from the chapters and different things, and we'll have to talk off camera again. I need to talk to you about some of the other things I was talking about scholarship opportunities, JT. So we're pushing forward and we're doing things, and I just wanted to say, did we hit all of our topics, JT? Did we hit everything that we said we were set out to?
I believe so. At
Basically.
least most of it. That was a very long sheet that I put together, and I kept adding to it all week.
there's so much more, and we even talk through more things. So, we do have a little script, not a script, but topics and things, and I think we hit them on. We even added some extra things, so we do really appreciate everyone for tuning in. This is the first time that we've been only on YouTube live, so we're going to continue doing this. We're always continuing to improve and do things. You can see their chats are back up on the board. JT's been doing a tremendous job of continuing to build out what we're doing here. So make sure you guys are checking us out on YouTube. If you guys haven't seen it, just go hit the archive button or what it is and pick whichever scene or podcast that you want to see. Thank you for all of you guys that download these. We get those messages every single week. Who's downloaded them, how many people are downloading them, and you guys are going back and listening to them. So we're very thankful for that too. Keep spreading the word, download those for us, and just be a part of it. We'll continue to get a bit better. We're not quite 2 years in yet, JT, so we're still young. We're still an infant, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. We've got our toddler legs on. Nobody else knew yet, but I've had an echo in my ear the entire time. We had talked about it before the show. Of course, it wasn't until 45 minutes in, and I was like, duh, I know why. So what that means is that the podcast probably won't come out tomorrow morning. I'll have to do some stuff to fix it because everybody on the podcast is going to hear the echo.
So let me boast on you a little bit, okay, about this, because most people don't really know this. They hear us talking about, hey, we're trying new things, but I don't think you guys really understand what's happening here. So I need to be able to talk about JT for a second here, and maybe a little bit of history of what we've done. So y'all just bear with me a little bit, right? So when we first started talking about doing this podcast, about a little over a year ago, June of 2020, not 2019. I don't know, I'm getting confused. But anyway, a little over a year ago, and so we were deciding if we wanted to do it like this, remotely, or at home, or remote, somewhere off-site somewhere. So we ended up hiring I guess we call him a producer, right? Tim Ham. You guys don't know who Tim Ham is. Mm-hmm. He was a co-host for us a while. We actually hired him. He had all of the stuff, and really just kind of put the back end of our stuff together. He had all the equipment. All we had to come do was go talk, put the headset on and kind of go. And he did all the rest. So it was kind of easy, right? Then we decided, okay, well, we want to change this. Think about going to a studio. So if you guys remember that, we had the green screens. We still had another producer, but we were using some other sources to try to enhance the on-screen presence, okay? Now, this is where it gets into JT and all this kind of stuff. And that's what I love about him the most, is that he's sitting there and he's so analytical, and he starts asking questions, and he finally catches me one day and he says, I think I can do this. I think we can do this, not have to pay someone, and I think we can really try to work this together. One, save some money, but, I like doing this kind of work anyway. So he started working with I'm not going to say the systems, but it's not Restream that a lot of people use. It's not StreamYard. I don't know what other platforms are out there, but he's using another thing that he's able to adjust on his own. Is that the best way for me to put it, where he can put his own graphics in there?
Yeah. It's no secret. People use this. It's the program's called OBS, but it's got a little bit of a learning curve. It's a very powerful tool, but you got to kind of spend the time to figure out how to use it. Whereas, Restream, nothing wrong with Restream. Restream does exactly what it's advertised to do, and it does a very good job at it. But you are kind of limited on customization. And that was the biggest thing, at least for me, was that, if we were going to do this, I wanted us to be able to do it however we wanted to do it and not particularly be tied down to some other company's updates.
Yes. And I appreciate that about you, because that's just how we are, right? We're always trying to look better, try to do better, and this and that. Craig, we do appreciate you saying that, hey, we can do that. Or, maybe some point in time we'll be able to get that. I think we have good content. I think we have good conversations. Just a matter of, one, getting our viewership up, getting more followers in. And, I personally like doing this just because it's father-son kind of stuff. It's not necessarily to make money and all that kind of stuff. I like having these conversations every week. You know, it's the stuff that we want to talk about anyway. Now we're really going to talk about it, and people get to listen and they get to give us feedback. So we really, really do enjoy that, right? So let people know that as you listen to this. Let people know, man, we're just in this because we like to talk sports and we like to talk about life or whatever it is. So we're going to continue to do that. We hit it hard and heavy during football season, obviously, and then it'll back off a little bit, and we might not have as many episodes, but this is the time. So we are very thankful for all of you that come in and interact with us. I forgot to mention that to you guys. So thank you guys for being here and doing that. Justin, we really appreciate you guys. The Bama Standard, you guys are Teaksters as well. Love coming on your show. Y'all invited JT on. Y'all haven't invited JT on yet. Y'all need to do that.
I'm always here. You know, if I'm not doing podcast stuff, I'm probably playing games online with my buddies, getting beat.
I think you may have a little bit of conflict though, because they're on at 6:00 Central, and it's about the time you're normally with the baby. I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a weekly thing. We can make an exception for the for the Justin Riley Network.
Oh, there we go. So
Clara, how can we forget you?
Yeah, yes, we can. Don't forget the little people, man. Come on, Claire, you're.
So maybe I shouldn't say this yet, but since we don't actually have anything planned, but I know you like to do your giveaways. Not saying that we're going to do a giveaway now, but that bot that fussed at Clara and deleted her messages earlier is going to be facilitating some giveaways in the future. And now we have a little bit of analytics to know who has and who hasn't been here, and regulars and whatnot. So, the more you show up, the higher your chances of winning things.
Oh, you got that. So I'm getting ready to pick up a bunch of new jerseys, Alabama jerseys and Cowboy jerseys, both get white and blue. So I might be able to toss one of those out here pretty soon as we get closer to Christmas. But JT, if you remind me, Claire, if you remind me, I got a special gift for you.
Who's you? Me?
I want you to remind me.
Oh.
I ain't showed you the gift. I'm going to give you one too. They're very unique. I'm going to sell them. But you know how police officers and other people have those little coins?
Oh, yeah.
You
Yeah, I know
know
what you're talking about.
Yeah. So I'm getting some made. Defender to Star coins. They got NFL alumni and other stuff on there. Has got my name and different things. Dallas Cowboys. So I'll start with this because I want to be able to use them one as giveaways. Just someone does something good. I was really thinking of kids and stuff of that nature. But maybe we can think about that. They ain't cheap now. I just can't be giving away to everybody. But our favorite people will be able to do that. Craig said he needs some more swag. What kind of swag? He wants T-Take swag, or he just wants some? I gave Craig a jersey.
Swag.
Didn't I send Craig a jersey? Don't he one of the winners? Or I think I just sent him one. Craig, if you could answer that, did I send him a jersey?
I remember you saying that you were going to. Whether or not you did, I don't know.
No, I'm almost certain I did. So Claire should have Clara. I always call her Claire. Clara should have one. Craig should have one. And now I'm going to working on these coins. I'm really excited about showing you those. And I'll send you a picture, kind of a sample that I have. They're pretty cool. You'll like them.
Craig says yes. Yes, he got one from you.
There we go. See? So what are you talking about? He wasn't about swag.
Well, hey, we all need more swag. Justin Riley says he needs some swag too. Yeah, well, I mean, you need to get on the Teagues Take swag for sure, because those shirts that we got were nice. I need some hats. I need some I don't know.
You got a cup?
Some socks.
What are those cups called? You got a tumbler?
Yeah.
And a shirt, but
we got to get on Cotton Bureau so people can actually start getting stuff if they want some. Sounds like there's a demand for swag.
It is. We're going to do that. I'm going to get with Brett Thomas, our man over Profound Sites, and update our website a little bit. Maybe we can get some stuff on there. But all right, man, I know it's just rambling going on a little bit, talking a little bit of family, talking about a little life. You need some JT swag.
I got some logo. I got some logos. I can make that happen. I can start making some shirts with my logos on them.
So again, we appreciate it, guys and gals. We ain't forgot about you, Claire. Just keep on doing what you're doing in that fantasy football. I'm doing terrible in fantasy football. I don't think I'm gonna make it into the playoffs this year. I'm doing pretty bad.
Oh, I'll wait till next show. Next show we can talk about my fantasy football announcement.
Oh, I already know what it is. Yeah. I know what it is. What did he say? He met me at sophomore year at Bama. A few rookie cards from me. What? I think you're making that up about they got stolen from you. You're trying to ask me to replace those.
He's just lost them.
Yeah, you're trying to get me to replace those. Well, I can say I do have a bunch of extra rookie cards. So you might not get a shirt, but we might be able to work out that I could mail you some Green Bay rookie cards and some Alabama rookie or player cards. So we might be able to work that out. Let's just.
I also really like this interaction that we have with chat. We were probably supposed to get off about 20 minutes ago, but we got some good interaction. So,
we love this. We need to do more of it. I think and the more people we have in here, and we'll try to. Of course, you can't always get to everyone, but most of the time you guys bring up some good stuff, some good questions, some good topics, and we'll surely hit on those. So if you're not here and you want to interact and you have an opinion, man, jump into the chat, Figure out how to get in on Tuesday nights and not just listen to the downloaded piece. Find a way to find us at 8 p.m. on Tuesday nights, the Central Time. Come jump in on YouTube, get in the chat, and just give us what you got because it's been proven if we don't like what you say, if you want to talk in all caps, our robot is going to kick you out anyway. So we got some safeguards for you. You know what I'm saying? All right, man. Well,
yes, Justin. Yes, we would. Or at least I would. I guess I can't speak for him, but
yeah,
yes, I would.
Oh yeah, we can do good with that. We can. Well, hell, what's wrong with this weekend? Shoot, you talking about sometime?
Oh yeah, no. This weekend would be a good one. And Craig, I mean, if you need those cards signed, I can sign them. I mean, it don't have to be his name. I can
say hi to Consuela. I'm gonna say hi to her for you. She missed you. She always talking about you. So let me tell you a funny story. Again, now we're getting real off topic here, but because Claire is in here, so me, JT, and Claire are all in the same fantasy football league, so they'll understand what I'm saying here. Maybe he's listening to the show, maybe he isn't. I don't know, but I'm gonna talk about another one of our players in our league because Consuela absolutely goes off on Mitchell every single week. I don't know if you watch it or if you know what he's doing or what he's not doing. He hadn't changed his roster. What does that say? That's a bot? Is that the real bot?
Yeah, I got to dial down the spam thing on
What
here.
did it say though? So
it asked if it broke her concentration. That's the quote from Pulp Fiction, and told her to stop spamming emotes because she repeated her emoji 4 times. I'll dial it back
smiling?
for Clara.
Is
Yes.
she doing some smiling or whatever, smiley faces?
Yeah.
So anyway, so Consuela absolutely cussing this dude out. He ain't changed his roster, but see, Mitchell keeps winning. He got like 4 people not even playing because they injured. They on IR.
And he's
I
still
got lucky
beating
and
folks?
beat him. Oh, yeah. He going to be the doggone playoffs. His team is loaded, man. They don't get healthy. So, you know how your mama is. She ready to kick people out of the league. She don't like that I let 12 people come in, bringing Scott and Michelle in, that kind of stuff. She's like, we got to go back to 10. And if people ain't playing, if they ain't changing their lineups, they got to get out of the league. If we're going to play, we got to play. Claire, she getting mad at you about this. I would like to see what happens. So it actually messages her? I don't understand this old bot stuff.
So what happens is she will send a message, and it just depends. The bot, it might be a little premature for the bot. The bot is supposed to keep people from
writing a lot of messages quickly, especially like to get noticed. We don't really have that problem now, but this happens in a lot of the chat rooms that I moderate over, where people keep saying the same thing over and over again. Not saying that's what she's doing, but or all caps all the time. And the bot kind of tries to figure out what is spam and what is not spam. And the bot has got it in for Clara right now, saying that a lot of her messages are spam, and they send her things like, let me find one. I can put it on the screen. Like this. I could do this all day. Stop spamming caps. And then it'll hide her message from the chat. Now I can still see it.
This is hilarious. You know why this happening to you, Claire? Because you ain't giving me and JT some of those free hotel points that you guys have. You're always traveling and doing all kind of stuff. We need some of those points, man. You know what I'm saying? Craig said he need to be in my league. Okay, we'll see. But JT got a fantasy football announcement next week. I won't let him forget about that. And I might have to have my own announcement as well. We'll see. All right, so let's go ahead and get off, man.
Yep,
It's
let's wrap it
9:30.
up. Let's wrap it up.
We got to get out of here. Thank you guys once again. Next Tuesday, 8 p.m., right here, same time, same place, same channel. Peace out.